The man of God comes without warning and leaves just as suddenly, whether he speaks or revives for a moment in his austere writings, or a rough apostle brings us back to the doctrine. And what does the man of God say? He says that no power in this world of display deserves respect. He says that one Caesar is worth another, and that no justice will be borne either by truncheons or by pikes. That perfection is all in this invisible power of thinking and willing, and finally of governing oneself. That we are first accountable for that peace with ourselves that depends on us. That we are each kings of our own little kingdom, and that is enough for us to occupy ourselves with. That human things around us, however bad they may be, show enough of a fearsome justice by all these passions that one sees taken in their own trap, and by these arrows that return to the archer. That one only recruits envy against ambition, cowardice against pride and fury. That, if one had to choose, the condition of the slave is still the best, because the necessity of obedience naturally leads us to rule ourselves, whereas the heavy duty of governing throws us out of ourselves and into the appearances of justice. That thus each one must remain in his place, that each one must fear to have and fear to be able. That in any case the trial of suffering and death is common to all and imposed, not by some Caesar, which shows enough that our work as a man is not to ward off the trial, but rather to overcome it by the resource of the Spirit. That it is the same trial for the soldier and for all, and that it takes a voluntary blindness, that is, the greatest cowardice of the Spirit, for us to deceive ourselves about it. That, moreover, this increase of evils, if it is one, that comes from men is very obviously the result of their errors, lies, and covetousness, and that no one can afford to complain about it if he has not purified himself. The man of God is intrusive. Nevertheless, we must also follow these winter thoughts, make retreat and Lent. The bare landscape invites us. When all the leaves have fallen, the sun touches the earth just at its points of fertility. But it is only for a moment. The Spirit returns there, but cannot stay, because he has put himself in the monastery, applying himself to respect only what he should respect. By that very fact he must leave. As this living body knows how to call back the spirit that wants to go into exile, so the powers excommunicated by the silence of the Spirit call for help. For Caesar too is the man of God, and conspires with everyone against himself. Every man wants respect, and everyone knows about it. Not this separate obedience. No one wants it. There is no rich man who seeks only wealth. Every ambitious man wants approval. And in the same way I have noticed that the one who refuses the best is not the one who complains the most. All these dead people in fact only irritate the mortal part, and that does not go far. But a lie that seeks approval irritates differently. Is it to irritate that one must say? It awakens the higher part. It has been observed, however, that revolt does not come so much from misery, but one does not draw the conclusion that stupidity is less supported than any other evil, perhaps because of this echo in ourselves. For these stupidities are born and reborn in everyone by this soul of truth that must come out of them, and the man of God cannot allow us to leave the Spirit in its swaddling clothes. It is not the acts, it is the speeches that call us. Caesar wants to think, Caesar, we are in your suite. This collaboration is not refused,